Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Glad you're here. Thanks for coming out and viewing the channel. So I want to throw a question out to people. Typically I do try to do stuff in here in the shop and some other stuff, but I've got some stuff that might make sense to try to go out in the field, and it's a little bit more challenging to try to videotape and do work at the same time. I know this is, many of you follow me from Matt's channel. Trying to film my own stuff and do the work is more challenging than having somebody over your back with a camera. So anyway, so I've got a couple of spots that I might try to do that on. I don't know if people have the interest in that. If you can let me know in the comments, that would be great. Otherwise, we'll just continue doing stuff we're doing now, stuff in the shop, and kind of share my thoughts. So anyway, so today I picked up a sheetrock applicator for putting mud on inside-outside corners. Probably about a year ago, I had a fairly large project that I was going to use it on. I had about 150 sheets of drywall on this particular project, lots and lots of inside corners, and through just a lot of other work, we ended up passing that off to somebody else to do the rock and the taping on that project. I did have a chance to use it real recently out at Matt Cremona's place, and just trying to give it a run through. So first time using it, and I'm going to walk through kind of some of the things that I was a little bit surprised by, kind of how it worked, how it didn't work, some of the things I think are a challenge with it, and kind of whether it's worth it or not. So let's jump into it. All right, so let's take this thing apart. So it does have the lid on here. It's got a little bolt if you want to take that apart. Probably don't need to do that. It's got a nice little handle on it. But then when you flip this thing over, you've got 4 bolts here. All right, so we've got the 4 bolts pulled out, and then we've got the metal piece that goes in there, and then that'll separate from the box, so the bucket. So the bucket's there, and then one of the things I thought was kind of cool is you've got 3 different corners you can do. You got inside, outside, and then bullnose corners, which will take a little bit different mud. So you can use any one of those. And then these just come apart like that. You can flip it over to another side. Now the one thing, and then if you're doing, let's see, I'll just pull this off. Pull it off. And if we want to do outside corners, then we flip this around in the opposite direction. So the mud come in there like that. So you'd have still going through here. Or if you wanted to switch over to the bullnose corners, you could do the same thing. So you'd have a bullnose corner. You can slide it from either direction. I've got a couple little videos up at some point here to show that. Here's the part I really don't like about this thing. And it's kind of I was hoping that you could change from inside and outside corners without completely taking this thing completely apart. I was hoping we could just swap this around. I suppose you could turn the bucket upside down and do it that way and flip. I guess you could do that. But if you had mud, so if you fill this thing with mud and you want to flip it over, take this apart, it's going to be a mess because the way this stuff lays in here. I guess you wouldn't have to clean the bucket, but yeah, so it would be kind of messy to do that. It is nice that we can store these on board. It comes apart and cleans up relatively easy. So that's kind of nice. That just stacks on there, does a line. So this thing does work pretty well. The one thing I would say about this, if you are doing a small number of stuff, this is probably more hassle than it's worth. If you're doing like a room, probably not worth doing this. If you're doing a whole house or a number of rooms, I guess that you'd have to make the determination when it makes sense for you to use this or not. You could, like I said earlier, you could do it over a series of days. So if you're doing a bunch of stuff, you could fill this up, run all your insides. Now, typically on my job sites, we will use it for both vertical and horizontal inside corners, and generally because we don't do any textured ceilings, and I like that crisp, that the pre-done paper tape with the corners already built into it, the metal corners built into it, which this is made for, gives us a lot cleaner and more crisp corner, and without having texture or knockdown or something on the ceilings. That type of corner bead will leave a lot cleaner finish on it. So I think this thing, I don't remember it, I think it was about 150 bucks. Not sure if, probably having second thoughts about it, honestly. I do have application tools that will put both inside and out. They work sort of okay. This is nice, like it applies on a nice even coat, and that works really well. It's just more, you're gonna have to have enough materials or large enough project to use this. So, all right, I think we're gonna wrap this one up here. I do overall, for the most part, like this tool. It really comes down to size of and how often you use it. I do not do taping on a full-time basis. I do it generally for my own jobs. If it's somebody else's job, I don't come in and hire out for that. I will do them on a job that I'm working on. So not necessarily formally trained in doing drywall. I think I do a pretty good job at what I do and have a nice finish when it's done, but just wanted to put that out there. So pretty happy with it all. It'll stay within within my tools, at least on the short term. Probably it'll be another 6 months before, just looking at the project that I've got booked out, before actually probably about a year, because I got another project starting in the spring. It is midsummer right now, before I'd actually use this. Everything else after that, I may or may not use it. We'll see. So hope you found it helpful. If you got any thoughts on this, please leave them in the comments. I read everything. And yeah, we'll see you next time.